Hey, it's Benjamin Verbacek, lead pastor here at Community Evangelical Free Church. It's basically the middle of February 2026, and I want to do a short video to talk about church goals. Now, I kind of wish this was December 14th and we were sharing about church goals then, because then that would be before the start of the year. But we had our congregational meeting, and of course this came up. We were thinking and praying. We had some early ideas, and when we were asked about it from the congregation, from you, one elder, it wasn't me, but I thought it was great, phrased it this way. He said, I just think they need more time in the oven. And so I'm ready. I think, I hear the bell. Okay, yeah, let's take it out of the oven and share them with you. What we are thinking as staff and elders for this coming year. And so you can hear these and go, okay, great. 2 thumbs up. You might hear them and say, okay, I have questions. Great. Come see us for questions. But I hope it would actually be more than that you would hear them with a view to going, well, how could I participate in those? I have all the craziness of my own life and I already serve in these ways. We're not looking for things that are radical. But are there ways, perhaps, that you could participate in them? Especially if you're a part of a ministry team like deacon, deaconess, the men's and women's teams, the youth team, leadership team, or the youth group, if you call it, that a team in a sense, the 20-something ministry and missions and outreach, all the finance team, all the different teams, especially if you're on one of those. I think it would be wonderful if you were listening going, okay, prayerfully, how can I participate? So without further ado, here we go. 3 goals. We want to be about this year: winning souls, stewarding church growth, and finding contentment in the Lord. Now, win souls, steward church growth, and find contentment in the Lord. When Tony Pitts, one of our staff and elders, hears those, he says, well, we should have 4 goals. We should make contentment in the Lord first and last. Find contentment in the Lord, win souls, steward growth, and find contentment in the Lord. And I think he's totally right. That really is the ideal, that of the 10,000 ways our hearts could get pulled towards different things to find rest and contentment and joy. And many of them are not wrong. Many of them might even be good gifts from the Lord. But ultimately, if we pursue our deepest contentment in anything here, not only will we not find contentment in the Lord, but we won't find contentment in those. And so we want to begin all that we do with the realization that God already loves us, not because of what we've done, but because what God has done for us in the person of Jesus, in this message we call the gospel: His life, His death, His resurrection, the promise of His second coming, and the love He already has for us today, regardless of what we do. Just starting there, starting with that message being our strength, our joy, and our contentment. So that's I guess goal 1, and in this scheme, goal 2 would be win souls. Win souls. I know that probably feels like antiquated language, something from another era. That is on purpose. I love it. Others are warming to it. I'll put it that way. I know we could have said, be bold in the gospel, or we should be about gospel proclamation, or cultures of outreach. I just don't want one of the things that frankly we're weakest at as a church to just be language that just flies by us and like, I've heard that all 100 times. No, we want to be about winning souls. Now, I know that doesn't mean that we are the ones who win souls. God has to do it. I know that. 1 Corinthians talks about, Paul says, I planted, Apollos watered, God made it grow. God makes it grow. God wins souls. But what is our part in that? And so I invite you to be thinking about that, praying about it. Maybe even this one person or 2 people, like all year you could be thinking like, what can I do to bend my life in such a way that I might be helpful to them in finding joy in Jesus and becoming Christian. So that's what we want to be out as a church. Steward church growth. So I guess it's 3 in this scheme. Steward is a biblical word, often tied to finances, which says, okay, God's given us these gifts, these time and talents, and how do we steward them? How do we take care of them, nurture them, make them grow? You steward a child up in your home and then launch them out and so on and so forth. But we want to bring that language of stewarding to the idea of growth. because it says fundamentally, any growth we have here is a gift of God, and it's not of our doing, but it's our responsibility to cultivate it and make it grow and to be healthy in the midst of that. And so there's a lot that goes into that. I won't say a lot now. We'll have a congregational meeting in June, but I hope in June we could lay out before you what each, potentially, Lord willing, each quarter for the next 3 or 4 years might look like. The growth we have here is wonderful. People are coming. I'm hearing of people who are coming to know the Lord and wrestling with the gospel, and yet I'm also seeing newcomers come to church and they look around and they don't know where to sit because the only place to sit is in the front row with the pastor. And that, especially if you're new to the Lord or not even a Christian, that's a big ask. As much as friendly as I want to be. But it's not just a sanctuary issue. This is kind of funny, but a parent said, I heard through the grapevine, that the nursery the other week was overrun. And maybe it's not funny, but I think about like when overrun, like this, this military base in Benghazi was overrun. And I'm like, the nursery was overrun by 9-month-olds, cried and eating Cheerios. But man, what a gift that is, to have nurseries and sanctuaries and youth rooms full of people. And so we want to take some drastic steps to steward that. And so that might look like a third service starting in the fall of next year. It might look like fundraising for a building. It might look like architects drawing up plans. It might look like all those things. And so we come to the last goal, which is just find contentment in the Lord. Whether we win souls or not, whether we find a new building or not, whether we raise any funds, I just want to rest in the fact that the Lord loves me, the Lord loves you, not because of anything I've done, but because of what Jesus has done for us. And so we're going to be preaching about contentment in the Lord later in the year. We've maybe got some seminars planned we can do with youth and parents and children, younger children, about phones and contentment and how that plays out in homes, and 100 other things maybe that we could do. And so thank you for listening. Jeff Clark is going to do the pastoral prayer. He's our student ministries director and communication director, and he's going to do the pastoral prayer this weekend, the congregational prayer, and might be praying through some of these goals. And I just wanted you to hear them now. Thank you for watching.